Welcome to my channel. My name is Olivia Martin and I'm so happy to have you here. Today I decided to do a little chit chat, get ready with me, and just on my favorite like everyday makeup routine. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I absolutely love this primer. I'm the paint on my hand, but this is the Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. I do not wear a primer every day. It's something that I think is good to use, but when it's my everyday makeup, it's not something that I feel like I have to do every day. So if I do use a primer, I love this one. It definitely fills all your pores and smooths everything out, which for me is the goal. And I feel like I kind of have a little bit of bigger pores, so I enjoy using this primer. Except for be careful because it kind of like squirts out. Okay, so I'll just kind of rub it in all over where I feel it is necessary. And just like the spots that I know are like my problem areas are kind of my main focus here. Certain, I do feel like there are certain primers that definitely don't work for me and definitely do not do anything for me. And then I feel like there are primers that I can see a difference, but it's kind of a hit or miss. And so you just have to be aware of that, because when you do get a primer that doesn't exactly work for you, you're not going to see the benefits of why people use the primer. So I'm going to start with my foundation. Again, for an everyday type of thing, and because I have small children, which I'll get into next, CC cream is kind of my go-to and one of my favorite things to use. It is full coverage, which I love, and it is extremely, for me, lightweight, which I also love. So the one that I have, it's kind of my holy grail. I use it pretty much every time I use the CC cream. I haven't switched. I just really, really love it. So this is the It Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Cream Color Correcting Full Coverage Cream. This is just defining it. It's not the full name. It's anti-aging hydrating serum, and it has SPF 50, which is huge. A lot of days, if we're gonna be out in the sun in the summer, going to the pool or whatever, I will literally just wear this. It doesn't want to show. Okay, anyways, so I use the, that's what I use, the CC cream. And then, so for, is it Fair or Light is one of the shades that I use like in the winter, but right now I have kind of a somewhat of a tan and like a fake, I have a little bit of a fake bake on. So I am using the shade Medium. Now, I have gone in with this with my hands before, which I totally like doing as well, but I also feel I can see the benefit of obviously using a brush or beauty blender. So I'm just gonna use a beauty blender today and just really get it all in there. You can see already it's just such a good full coverage makeup, and obviously who isn't wanting that? I know I am. So okay, so a little bit about me, just so you guys can get to know me a smidge. I have two small children. I have a 4-year-old. His name is Axel, and that's my son. He's my oldest. And then I have a 1-year-old little girl, and her name is Pixie, and she's so cute. And my son Axel is, his middle name is Rhett. And then Pixie's middle name is May. So just fun, unique names. I don't know. My husband and I definitely were like totally sold on Axel together. Like we both agreed on it, totally fine. But with Pixie, we didn't agree on it. And I was like, come on, there's gotta be a way that he's gonna be like, okay, we can name her Pixie. I feel like it's not focusing very well on my face. Maybe I need to back up. So he wasn't for Pixie, like at all. And I was like, okay, I love this name. How am I gonna convince him? Well, you know what? It took until I literally pushed her out, and he was like, okay, so they said like, what do you know, what's her name? And he looks at me and he's like, go ahead, you can tell them, you know, what do you want to name her? And now he is obviously obsessed with it, and he's like, how could we have named her anything else? She is a little pixie. She's tiny, she's like petite, and just so adorable. And oh my gosh, no, I forgot I had it on the back of my hand. Shoot. I'm back. Okay, I was putting my CC cream on, and of course I drug my finger through my hair, so then I had to go clean it off my hair. Okay, so I have only gone in now twice in the like glob that's on my hand, sorry. So it's really a little bit goes a long way, which I love that. I love that it's like totally full coverage. And one of my tips for, obviously make sure you get it all down your neck so that everything matches. But one of my tips for using the Beauty Blender is to make sure you're using very soft like pounces like this. When you start to sweep or rub, it's not giving it the effect, and it's not, you're not using it in the, you know, the way that it's intended to be used. So it is meant to give a very, now I'm rubbing down to my neck just because I'm trying to drag some of the product down here. It's meant to give a very blended, soft kind of look. So when you're using it in that sense and in that way, it does its job. If not, I would probably tell you to just use a brush if you are used to kind of doing the dragging motion. Okay, so next is my concealer. Like I said before, sometimes I do this and sometimes I don't, and just depends on how much time I have with my kids in the morning, because concealer, sometimes I will only put concealer on and not foundation. So that's another option. That's another way I kind of do things as well. So, okay, so these are the two that I love, and mainly the only two that I use. Guys, I don't know. So this is the NARS Creamy Concealer in the shade Chantilly. And then I also, who doesn't love the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and this is in the shade Fair Beige. Okay, so a good way, a lot of people struggle with figuring out colors to use with concealer. So one good way to try and figure it out, one is always test in the store, because they're more than willing to help you. So always ask for a sample. You can take a sample home, but I would recommend asking them for a sample there and asking them to apply it on your skin while you're there, because it's the most natural way to see if it's gonna match or not. So these two colors, the other way I was gonna say, the other way to determine what color you are or what undertones you need is looking at your veins on the inside of your arm. Okay, so if your veins are blue or green, mainly blue or purple, that means you are cool toned. And if your veins are more green, you're more warm toned. Now I could be saying that wrong, but I think that's how it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so I'm gonna go in, I think, with the NARS today, because it's creamy and my under eyes tend to be kind of more dry. So that's why I like a more creamy one. I also have the NARS, the concealer that's in the pot, and it's more matte. So I really like that one, but only if I'm feeling like pretty hydrated. If I'm not feeling hydrated, I stick to this creamy one because it definitely hydrates under my eyes and it blends out so much better than the matte one. So sorry you guys, I don't have a mirror like right under here. So I just kind of do like a triangle. I mean, everybody does, but that's kind of my thing. And then sometimes I'll just, like, if I feel like I just need a smidge under there, I'll just do like a couple dots, and I won't even worry about doing a full triangle. But I do feel like when you only do, like, if I were to just go like this and this, then it almost does look kind of raccoon-eyed, where it's just like right under your eye is like white or lighter. Instead, when you do a triangle, it kind of helps like form your blend with your face and like highlight those areas where it's not just, it's under your eye, but it kind of brings it down and highlights everything under your eye. And that's, to me, that's my goal. Okay, so I'm gonna, again with my damp beauty blender, just kind of blend it out here. Again, you don't want to do any dragging because the dragging is just gonna remove the product. So when you're patting it in, it's just gonna blend out really nicely under your eye. And okay, so I'll kind of bring it down to here. I kind of will take it across like the side of my temple sometimes, and then if I know I'm doing a shadow or if I just want to like brighten my whole eye, I will put it on top of my eyelid as well. So you can see from this side to this side, it's definitely nice and blended and brightens the under eye a little bit. And that's my goal. So the only thing about the Tarte Tape Shape is that it is very, very good, but it's not for me an everyday makeup thing. I mean, it is like if I'm gonna be going out or going to an event or something along those lines, I feel like I will use that because it is such a, I mean, it just doesn't show anything. It just conceals all of it, which is great. And like, that is obviously your goal. But occasionally, sometimes it's just a little too much for every day. To me, it's like more of a like special occasion type of concealer. Anyways, okay, I'll put it on my chin a little bit to highlight that, and maybe sometimes down my nose like you saw me dragging, because I don't want it to be super defined, but I just want a little bit there. And then I'll occasionally put it here. Now, again, this is sometimes I'll do this, and then sometimes I just kind of keep it simple, but all right. Now, I always recommend setting under your eye. For me, it's crucial because a lot of times if I don't set it, the product will just, you know, sit in my fine lines under my eyes because I have lines and bags under my eyes. So what I like to set with is obviously the Laura Mercier translucent powder is a great one, and I have that and I love that. But this is just so simple for me. This is the Kat Von D Shade Delight palette, and I usually go in with this middle shade called Lyric or the Levitation. I kind of mix these two together and I really like that. But this palette to me is so convenient because it's just like you have your setting powders, your contour, or your bronzer contouring color all in one. So if you are trying to be more on a budget and you don't have these two products yet in your collection, I would recommend this because you're getting 6, you know, 3 setting shades and 3 bronzing shades all in one. So I will again use my damp beauty blender and press that in under my eye so that it will hopefully stay all day long. And I find that some products kind of settle under there and then almost make my under eyes look a little bit dry and old, which sounds kind of strange. So this product doesn't do that. There are certain products under eye powders that I've used that do that, and so I would just be aware of that when you're putting on. See if your product is doing that, and if it is, I would switch to something else because that's not the point of setting under your eyes. That's not the point at all. Okay, so now for this next part, I will do one of two things. If I decide that day for my everyday makeup that I just want to bronze, I will take this big old brush and I will bronze with that on my cheeks. But if I feel like I want to do a little contour, I have 2 different brushes I use, which all of my brushes are pretty much from Morphe. I just love them. They're so soft. They're really tapered, which blends perfectly. Okay, so this is a little bit, obviously you can see this is a little bit of a bigger one, and this is the Morphe R2 brush. So I love this one. And then this is the Morphe R10, and I also love this one. It's shorter and more dense, and it gets it really precise in those to contour. This one's bigger and fluffier, and I like it because it still contours, but it also kind of blends easier. So you're getting a really soft, like translucent contour on your cheek. And then I think today I'm gonna go ahead and bronze. And I'm going to go in with this middle color here called Shadow Play. I think that's what it's called. This one's a little too dark for me. This is Sombre right now. It's a little too dark. And then this one sometimes pulls a little too cool and gray on me. So I just prefer the middle color, which is warmer and gives me that bronzed look rather than a contoured look. And that's my goal here. So as you can see, I'm just softly, now this is a common mistake, and honestly I'm doing it right now, that's why I'm gonna show you guys, but is holding it this close. Okay, so that's just gonna add a lot of pressure to where you're putting the product at. If you hold it farther towards the end of the brush, you're gonna get lighter strokes and a softer pressure. So not bad, but it's good that you guys can learn these things as we go. And sometimes I'll bring it down a little bit so it can marry with the color on my neck. And then I'll go ahead and do it on this side as well. Oh, can't get my mirror. And for me, I'm not trying to look like I said, I'm not trying to look like contoured or anything. I just want to look like I got some sun. And I think that that kind of does, that does the job. So there's that, my bronzer. Now I'm a huge blush person. I can't really feel like myself or like I'm done with my makeup until I do blush. So the one that I absolutely love, you guys, you're gonna crack up at this, but this is the Essence blush, maybe $2, I'm not really sure. It's the Satin Touch blush in the shade Satin Coral, and it gives the most beautiful coral color, and I love it. So sometimes if I'm, like I said, it depends on the day or what I'm gonna be doing, but I really like a sometimes I like a deeper blush, but for an everyday look, this is just perfect for me. I don't need any more than this. And I'll just softly kind of swirl it around on the apples of my cheeks. And I kind of like to start a little bit farther back sometimes and then go in. It's just, for me, I feel like it appears a little bit more natural. So blush, and then honestly, if I do a shadow, I will just take like a fluffy small shadow brush. This is the R37 from Morphe. I don't know if you guys can see that. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, and then can you see the little hairs here? So this probably already has obviously some color on it, which is fine. But it's really tapered, and so it blends really well. I'm literally gonna go back in with this palette, the Shade Delight palette. And just put this on my lids. Okay, so back to me. So I am married to my husband, Brace. We are celebrating 5 years of marriage this year, which is so exciting. We're actually going on our like anniversary trip next month, and we're going to Orlando, Florida. I don't think we're gonna do the parks, but I'm very excited. It's 7 days without our kids, and I'm gonna miss them terribly, but I think every parent and couple deserves a trip to yourself. So you can kind of see I just added a smidge to the top just for a little contouring effect, honestly, and just for some color. Okay, this is as easy as it is for me. I'm just gonna throw on some mascara and a little gloss, and I'm done. So we've been married for 5 years, almost 5 years. We have Axel and Pixie. My husband is a plumber, and I am a hairstylist, and I'm also a makeup artist for a bridal team here at a local salon. We live here in the good old Midwest of Illinois. Just a great place to live. No, honestly it is. We live in a small town. I absolutely love it. I always thought I would like end up in a big city, and I love big cities to visit, but I don't think I could ever actually live in a big city for me personally. After living in a small town and having small children, just having neighbors and all of that, I couldn't take it for granted, and I just love it. So I forgot to tell you guys, I'm using, I just got this is newer, I wanted to try it out. It's the Voluminous Feline Mascara by L'Oreal. It's in like a green tube with like some cheetah prints on the front, on the top of it. So yeah, I feel like I really love living in a small town. I'm not crazy about the weather here sometimes, although I do love the changing of seasons. I know a lot of people are like, I could never do winter, I could never do like, you know, all the snow, but I do really love the changing of seasons. It's something that I have like really grown to appreciate about living in the Midwest. So yeah, I do hair, makeup, and then I also work for a hair company called Monate, and it's just, being a hairstylist, it is the best product I've ever used. So I invested in that, and I work with them now, which I love. And then all that aside, I stay at home with my kids, and being a stay-at-home mom is something that I'm just beyond thankful for, and something I will never take for granted. It is such a hard job, but it's something that I am so proud of, and that I feel like I'm so lucky that I get to do that. So that's what I do. That's the other thing I do. Okay, so I have this, just a NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream. I usually would just throw on like a chapstick or a gloss, but this was sitting here, and I love NYX. This is the color Stockholm, which is just a staple for me. It matches so well, and it goes with everything. I think it's like a perfect kind of warm nude color. So I'm just gonna put this on. I have loved YouTube for a very long time. I have watched YouTube for years, and I always thought, like, I wonder if I could do vlogging or do videos or something, and I've always wanted to, but it's just such a scary thing just to go ahead and like start it and just try it. And I just have had so many people say, like, you should just do it, like, just try it. So for Mother's Day, which was last week, my husband got me a camera, and I was like, you know what, why not do it? I feel like sometimes when you don't do things that you want to do, you can't stop thinking about it. And when you can't stop thinking about something, I think you should do it. So here I am, making my first video, and I am so nervous, but it's so exciting. And honestly, just getting started has been the best part for me. Okay, sorry. I literally got all done, like did my like outro, and was like, oh my gosh, I never did my brows. Okay, this is something that is so simple. I have no time in the morning, so this stuff I try to keep as minimal as possible. And this is like, I don't even have eyeliner on because I just don't have time for it. So this is the NYX Professional Makeup 3-in-1 brow pencil. And so this end is the, like, I don't even know what you guys would call this, the little spoolie with the brow color, like it's like a paint kind of. Okay, it's not gonna show you, so there we go. It's kind of like a paint. And then, so there's that. This side is the little crayon that honestly kind of broke, so I don't even use that. And then you can also twist the top off, and then there's this like little filler, like you can kind of fill them. So honestly, out of the 3 of those things, I just use this one part, which is the little spoolie, because it kind of helps brush my brows up. And then, you guys, this is all I do. I just kind of give them this is it. This is it. As simple as that. I have pretty good brows. I mean, they're thick, and I don't have to do a lot to them. Now, do I sometimes? Oh, 100%. But then there's the times that I just do this. This is every day. This is exactly what I do. I don't do highlighter. I don't do I don't do liner. I don't do anything like that. I literally keep it just so simple, because usually I have a child hanging on me, a child asking for something. So the simpler the better for me. Now I'm just gonna set my face with Mario Badescu. I love this spray. It's the facial spray with aloe, herbs, and rose water. I always spritz it like that first, because the worst thing that could ever happen, especially being a makeup artist myself, is when I have somebody in my chair and I spray this. This has happened before. I'll spray it and it like it doesn't do like a soft just mist. It like spritzes, if that's even a word, and then it ruins the whole makeup look. Literally, you can't undo that, and that has happened one time and I've never made that mistake again. So always check your mister and fan it so it'll just lay nicely and do what I want it to do, and we're done. Okay, so this is my everyday makeup. Like I said, a couple things are a little different, not a little different, but just depending on like if I want to do a concealer, which concealer I'll pick. Sometimes I do just do a gloss. I also love, this is kind of filthy, but just because I've had it for a couple years, but I love this Glam Glow what's it called? Pout Mud. It says wet lip balm treatment. Can you guys see that? I know it's so hard. Anyways, so this is the Glam Glow. It looks like this, and there is nothing personally that I have used that gives like a very shiny wet look to your lips and seriously hydrates the crap out of them. So I absolutely love that stuff. So I'll either put that on or I'll do sometimes just a super easy lip, and I'm good to go. So I'm so excited about this channel. I am so excited to have you here wherever you're from. If you know me, that's super exciting, and if you don't, welcome. It's nice to meet you. I think I said at the beginning my name's Olivia, and I just can't wait to start making some really fun, cool videos for you guys. And I don't know, whatever you want to see, let me know, and I can't wait to make some more videos. If you take anything from this video, spend some time on yourself. We deserve it, and yeah. Okay, bye guys.